Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. This is Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, along with Mike Leonardi, Jabril Bay. 7 years ago, it'll be 7 years, Jody, in November.
Yeah.
All right.
Very long time.
That we got that they had an idea of putting together some activities, and they didn't want to have a religious or political angle on it, and they wanted to know, hey, look, can we do this? And they invited me along with Kamasi Kush, Ebony Burks, the rapper named Nobody, and a few others that were in the room, and they came up with this idea that we're not in some type of box that we can only include and exclude certain people. And man, Jody, here we are. Today I have on a white shirt, Oxford collar, straight from work again, so I didn't get a chance to put on any revolutionary t-shirts, all right, that would upset some and liberate others. I've got on my glasses from Optigo. I'm bald head, kind of a dark brown now that I got some sun, and as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. And this is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. So you're going to hear some revolutionary themes and some pro-Black themes and some pro-self themes today. Jody, I think, and look, we got with us today Brother Eric Dixon, that's in the green room right now. So if you can hear us, Mr. D, make sure you load up all the snacks that we have there for you. All right, only the best that Family Dollar could get. All right.
Hey, that's expensive. We go to Dollar Tree.
Okay, Dollar Tree. Yes, sir. We got to be fiscally responsible. All right, since you are the treasurer. Speaking of you, Jody, that's me. That's who I am. And thank you for being here today. If you're watching this, please put something in the chat, a black heart, a power fist, a hey, what's up? We'd love to see you connect with us. And man, Jody, could you introduce yourself and what is all of that you have on?
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, Child of the System, better known as Spoken Truth. Let's see. Where to start with that? I'm the treasurer of this wonderful organization. I'm also an author, a poet, an illustrator, elected official, run several community boards and nonprofits, and
I'm running out of fingers. I'm naming stuff.
Yeah, I was just stuff I tell people, like I was just creating something else this afternoon that I'll probably release in like 2 or 3 years. But I do this because nobody did it for me, and I also believe that, especially seeing and hearing from so many people, do it in your own time. Don't let nobody rush you to do anything. What might take somebody a year could take you 3. But in 10 years, they may not be around and you'll still be at it decades later. So
right.
Remember, everything in its own time. Nothing is precious. Nothing is more precious than life. And if you take it for granted by trying to live somebody else's passion or future, then you won't ever find your own.
Man,
so
that was a long introduction stuff. Whatever the heck that was long. But
I've been triggered for some things. Again, this is a busy week for me. I got 6 of my boards working. I just did a podcast. I'll be sharing it on a thing about Black Lives Matter, how it's evolved and stuff last night on air. And I'm still coming out of that mode. Still coming out of creating last illustration and doing stuff like crystal work for the events I got coming up this weekend. But I am a brown-skinned, cinnamon-toned big bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and totems from people that I've met along my life journey that stay with me, whether you see them or you don't. That's kind of what I've become over the years. My pronouns are him, he, and we. We being that this is not about me, this is not about them, this is about preserving something that is vastly being wiped away by the ignorance of social media. I'll leave that as the end statement. This is our mission statement. It allows us to kind of have some type of structure, some foundation when we go out into the world, to leave our egos behind, to leave what we want or what to fill our pockets or even our own continual generation, and not think about the community first. This keeps us grounded. So whether you're here for a day or 7 years,
I'm pointing at me like I'm old as dirt. All right.
You still got that basic structure to keep you grounded. So we are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, the Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy. That's right in there. You might want to check yourself, to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally, yes, equally, I'll say it again, equally to all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter. Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And why do you think, before we go to the guiding principles, what was it that you said about why it's so important to have a mission statement to help ground you and keep you squarely directed? Why do you think that's so important for?
It's important because so many people, especially in the wake of last year, have thought activism as scream enough, you type enough, you do enough stuff, and things get done, but no trauma comes back on you. It's a grounding element to remind you that this is hard work. It may be fun to go out and piss off an officer or make a video to get some million views, but at the end of the day, that's your life. That's you on camera. That's you making that statement to your kid, generations after you. Every step we make now is literal history. And it was something I was thinking when I woke up this morning. Nobody ever succeeded in anything if they stopped halfway. It's like all the memes you see and stuff like that. No matter what it is, religion, you want to work at something, if you stop halfway, then that idea kind of got wasted on you. I don't like wasting ideas.
All right. Well, that we're gonna right after we do the guiding principles, we're gonna take a short break, and we're gonna come back and talk to Eric Blade. You know, he's going full tilt. All right. These are the CSRN guiding principles, and this is the set of principles that bind us together to keep us from harming each other. It starts off, and what I'll do is after each statement, I'll say Ashe. That means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love, self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we'll harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
Those are our guiding principles, and we came about our guiding principles in 2015.
Yep.
On our way to
Movement for Black Lives.
right, and right before the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March,
Yeah.
Justice or Else. Yeah, and we came upon these principles and we added them to what we do because all Black lives matter, and we can't pick and choose what Black lives matter and which ones don't. You know, if justice for one, justice for all. So, Jody, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back with Mr. D.
Yep.
This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. We will be right back after this short message.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
We are back. All right, we're back with the CSRN. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo. And with us, you just saw mystery music. You saw parts of the Summer Sizzler. And with us right now, we have the director, we have the CEO, we have the man that conceptualized that, is that even a word? Made the vision. We've got our brother, Eric Dixon. How you feeling today, brother?
All right, all right. I just want to give big ups for the green room, the amenities you guys had back there. Appreciate that.
Hey, wait a minute! You picked the wrong snacks. he got the dollar, right? He got the Family Dollar snack. You're supposed to get the Dollar Tree snack, so you're gonna owe us. All right.
Off the background, I'm just noticing that.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Dixon, yes, sir. Whatever we got in there is yours. All right. Thank you for joining us. We just put on the Summer Sizzler promo for mystery music. I think that was at Ottawa Park.
Yeah, Ottawa Park Amphitheater.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Plays very well.
Yeah, what was that day like seeing the young people perform and the type of energy that was a part of that?
Well, for a lot of those students, it was their first time being in like a captivated audience. So it was amazing. It's always amazing to see those guys perform. You know, any of my students, because it's just like it's a part of their life that they always had the opportunity to have, but a lot of them never had it. And once they've had it, it's just like it's a complete addiction. You know, and they're like, hey, I can do great. You know, if I put my mind to it, I can do great things.
Wow.
The platform that would be on, they can do great things as long as they're channeled into what they're great at. And that week leading up to that wasn't a great week because it was like it rained almost every single day that we were supposed to have rehearsal at the amphitheater. So Monday and Tuesday were the only 2 days that we actually rehearsed in the amphitheater. And then the other 3 days we were at St. Martin de Porres practicing there. And because of that, and you know, the people that run the St. Martin de Porres allowing us to be there on days that we normally wouldn't be there, you know, we were able to pull that off on that day. And it was a great day. So
all right. Yeah. And I'd like to give a special shout out to the staff of St. Martin de Porres. This church is located at the corner of Bancroft and Detroit. And you might ride past it every day and just be kind of unassuming that anything is going on in there. But there's a lot of great things that's going on. So shout out to Sister Jenny. Shout out to the staff of St. Martin de Porres that allows some revolutionary things happen in a place that you least expect. Another question. What's happening with the Summer Sizzler? When you saw the promo, that's the first thing that we saw. What is the Summer Sizzler, and how did you get involved with the Summer Sizzler, and how can families get their children involved?
Okay, the Summer Sizzler is kind of a snippet of what we do during the performing arts season. And our regular performing arts season consists of more than just two musical genres. The one you saw was Drumline, which is our first musical mystery that we offer. And then we offer Step Team, which is number 2. Now, Step Team Camp is going to start on August the 2nd, and it goes through August the 6th, leading up to a workshop-style performance showcase at the Ottawa Park Amphitheater, once again at 2 p.m. On August the 8th, the same day as the Mental Health Awareness Walkathon in the park. So, of course, I encourage everybody to come out and see the step, because most of the students that start have never had an experience. And this is my invitation to the city of Toledo, the greater Toledo area. It's open to the public. If you have a child that's in the 3rd grade all the way to the 12th grade, You're welcome to attend. You're welcome to take part, and your children will partake in body percussion. It's where your body makes the beat. Just like you saw
Wow.
they make the drum beat, your body makes the beat with, your hands, your legs, your feet, your knees, and it's with chanting and it's gonna be an awesome time. And again, if you're thinking about age wise, is ages 8 to 18, grades 3 through grades 12, open to the public, beginning August 2nd through August 5th, and your child will perform in a performance, a workshop style performance showcase on August the 8th. And the cost is only $25, which is normally $175. But thanks to the city of Toledo, this platform, it's only $25 to students. So I encourage you to come out. And if you're wondering how to get there, how do I register my child?
Right. That's the question that Jody was asking. How does he register all of his children, though? Okay, see,
technical difficulties back now.
Well, that's why we need to stay serious.
Okay. Well,
all right. How can a person register their children? How can they contact you? How can families get involved?
Okay, what you want to do is you want to go to mysterymusic.com/Summer Sizzler. Now, I think the last time I was here on your podcast, I gave you the spelling of mystery music. And again, I thank you, gentlemen, for having me back. The mystery music is spelled M-Y, the number 5 takes the place of the S. So MY5 TERY music, music.com/Summer Sizzler, spelled exactly how it sounds. SUMMER, Sizzler, SIZZLER. So again, it's mystery music with the 5, not an S, .com/Summer Sizzler. And the registration and the information about the program is all there on that website.
And also we can, Jody, that promo that we have for Summer Sizzler, we should put that on our page.
Yep.
That way everybody can get that info. It's only $25, people. That's less than a Starbucks coffee. All right, only $25. Listen, Brother Eric, before we leave, how did you come up with the idea of mystery music and attaching youth involvement in the arts? Because usually I see sports, which is all good. I see dancing, which is all good. All right. Anything that we can do to get our youth involved, I'm fine with. But what happened? How did you come up with this idea to involve music and all these other things in one package?
Well, if you think about it, we're surrounded by music on everyday life. Now, everybody isn't like the same music, but everybody likes some form of music or the arts. Me being, I guess my parents, my father, again, used to be the band at high school. I used to be his assistant for many years. And then I became the assistant of Central State University's marching band. And I ended up becoming the interim band director of Central State University. So it's always been around me. I've been surrounded by music. I was a music education major, a graduate of Central State University. And I was like, there's something that has to be that's going to motivate our kids in our cities to do great things and to stay out of trouble and to do things that come natural. And with our youth, music becomes very natural. They're surrounded by it. They have different genres that they like. They have different artists that they admire, and different apps that involve music. And some kids like music but don't understand it. So this is a way to get them acclimated to with the understanding of music, the origin of music, while also being able to help the students understand there's going to be life lessons in the things that we do that make them better students, better citizens in their communities. Because in order to be part of our program, the students have to be in constant compliance with their parents, and they also have to stay in compliance with their teachers. And that's how they keep their membership. And with us offering drumline, step team, pitch instrument training, vocal performance training, and theatrical etiquette training, it's like a one-stop shop performing arts program. And that's what we offer. We offer it during the school year from August to May. And then we have our Summer Sizzler, which is a version of our regular performing arts program. It's just a snippet of it. And they get that confidence they never had because they're doing something they never thought was possible for them to do. And they accomplish it. And matter of fact, what you saw that video was accomplished in 1 week.
Wow.
So kids, when they like something, they'll do just about anything to make sure they keep it. And what we want to do, give them something they really like so they can, it can help us push their academics, help them push their confidence, their discipline, their team building, self-esteem through the performing arts as a tool we use. And we want to keep these programs going. And as you know, when you have programs like ours, it requires us to have funding for those programs. And if you're looking to change with our youth, I invite you to support our GoFundMe campaign, which is at rescuethearts.org. So if you click on there, give $1. That dollar is going to go so far with what we do. That's helping trying to get programs in your neighborhood, in your school system, where your child goes to school. I've often been asked, hey, how can my child be involved with mystery music? Well, during the school year, we're in school systems, and not all of them have the networking or the funding to have our program. And to hire people that are qualified to teach our children, we have to have funding. So again, I encourage you and invite you to go to our GoFundMe campaign and support us at rescuethearts.org. And it's spelled exactly how it sounds. It's all together, rescuethearts.org. And of course, if you guys have any questions, I'm sure my partners over here are going to help you get acclimated to that, and they know how to contact me if anybody has any questions. And I'm offering them to go ahead and send my information to whoever has questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer.
All right, thanks. So for all that's watching, if you weren't able to catch all that Brother Eric said regarding mystery music, just comment in our inbox, and we will send you directly to him. Only $25. That's a bargain to get our young people active, to get our young people to be able to participate in something so positive. So thank you again, Mr. D, Mr. E, Coach E. I call them all of that. All right. Thank you, brother, for being with us. And listen, can you come back at another time and just talk about the evolution of mystery music and rescuethearts.org so many want can hear your story and get involved?
It will be my honor. I would love to do that. And I want to add too that those of you guys are wondering, like, where do I see alerts about what's going on mystery music? Well, you can go to Facebook, mystery music. You can go to youtube.com/mystery music, and go to twitter.com/mystery music, and instagram.com/mystery music. And our website is mysterymusic.com. And don't forget to register your child for the Summer Sizzler Step Team Workshop at mysterymusic.com/Summer Sizzler.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Solidarity Response Network. We're going to take a short break. Be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we're back. I kind of caught you off guard. All right.
He's been doing that. That's why it's not back here today. Y'all, never mind. Anyway.
This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. This is Jody Summers, Child of the System, Spoken Truth, all of that. There were some people in our chat or that clicked some likes. Who were they? And can we give them some shout outs?
So, and I think as we've evolved more over this last year, plus that was a good idea that you talked about in our last segment. We haven't had a recurring guest yet. So 3 times we send you into the comments and people be battling over which, that's
right.
Most sitcoms or shows or whatever had like the doctor come on or the musician. I think maybe as we evolve, if the audience likes it, again, because we are trying to listen to everybody. That's why I'm going to shout out everybody's name. So if you were in the live, you don't want to be noticed, too bad. But, and if I could spell your name properly too, because Rowan Annie McNally, thank you for sending us a heart.
Hey, Rowan, he messed up your name. So.
I probably did.
Oh, all right, but it's all good. You know who you are.
See, he just had to call me. That's why it sticks right there.
All right, okay. All right. That sounds like a threat. All right.
Shout out to Adisha, LaShawna Fowles, Patty J. Kelly, Heather Lyman. I'm saying your name right, too. But Heather, Douglas, he's watching too. Guy that makes his staff.
Okay.
He's got all the staff energy around. And Madman Jones, our Madman Jones, fellow poet friend of mine and everything. So shout out to y'all for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, all of that good stuff, because we couldn't do this without any of y'all. I'm appreciative and happy to have so much infrastructure and foundation behind me to actually be able to speak on a platform like this, or to have the knowledge that if somebody came after me in the comments, I can show you photos, videos, evidence, proofs, and signatures.
I don't think they want that.
I know that they don't want that, but some people need that.
Okay.
I think some people go off on these tangents and stuff and forget, again, we live and die on the backs of those who have been committed injustices against in the streets. Yeah. And this isn't about us or the organization or anything like that. It's about justice.
Right. Hey, look, last week we posted something on our page regarding the Toledo rescue.
Yep.
You attended the meeting last week.
Yes, I did. All my official capacity.
All right, and I know you spoke on it last week, but for anybody that wasn't with us last week, what was that meeting about? Was it $50,000 that the city of Toledo got? Was it $100,000? What was the number? What's it going to be used for? And why should we care?
Okay. So, again, $180 million are being received by the city of Toledo as the Toledo Recovery Pact, or Act, bad with the tail ends and stuff, but to help to, improve the infrastructure. Roads somewhat. Do not let people get on their platforms or their councilships or mayorships or whatever and tell you they're going to do this money, because we've been speaking roads forever and just forgot about everything else.
Right.
Like people are running rampant in the streets and there's no sense of structure. But high capacity, so people without Wi-Fi, people that may not be able to get a phone line or something like that. Improve those roadways for better connection. As we know, the more you are able to talk to somebody directly, the better you can get true facts and advice. And then the biggest part, which they talked about being the catch-all, is to improve places like community centers, Frederick Douglass Center, YMCAs, build infrastructures and programs like Mystery Music to help the youth have other options. It's not about your church. It's not about your campaign. It's not about what Sister McNeely said down the street is going to help with this building. No. I think the breakdown of it is events, or not events, but organizations and nonprofits pre-existing, big words, pre-existing March of the pandemic. This is to help people who basically lost everything, many their lives and entire families, and are still moving, still holding food drives and trying to keep whatever dollars they can to keep their organization open. So that's what it's for. There is a survey, and there's also going to be 6 community forums. I'm going to try and find the information. I've been spreading out the survey information since the day it dropped Thursday. I haven't been able, and I can be honest with myself on that, I haven't been able to fill it out. And as I spoke at the beginning of the program of our show, take it in your own time. I would not want to rush something like this by saying, ooh, they got something up and go say something.
Right.
So I'm giving myself time to think, to truthfully not react to everything that happens just about every day within gun violence, because I don't want another war on drugs. I'm sorry. I know a lot's going on in the world. Heck, Germany is underwater, which I've never thought I'd hear, but I searched everything all over the world. And I think trying to pressure people into doing, or especially elected officials who really don't have as much you think they do about gun violence, and then giving them something that they can quote on their platform to get reelected with your dollars to spend is stupid. Just like the war on drugs, we didn't really stop it. We just transformed it and made it able to go stealthier, more deadly, more hazardous.
True.
So, yes, there needs to be something done to maybe talk to the people who are actually shooting the guns. I've been to so many meetings and so many forums or whatever with people who are older than me that's telling me I need to do something about the youth or what they're going to do, and they haven't seen a youth since they were 1. Anyway.
That's right. You know, and I think that's why we wanted to have
snake oil sellers.
Right. That's why we wanted to have Eric Dixon on, and later on we're going to talk about some of the programs that exist now that are helping with our youth. If you're like me, every time you turn on the television, there's something dealing with violence, and particularly in our community. Yes. So that may be misleading if your community is the only community that crime is being reported.
Right.
All right, and glamorized or targeted. It might make you think that our community is the worst. However, there are some people out here like Eric Dixon and Mystery Music, along with others that have the ear of our young people. I think about City Park League.
Yeah, City Park League.
I think about Tremaine Rayford.
Yes.
And the program. You know, I think about so many.
Marcus.
Right. I think about so many. Marcus.
Well, Grace, he had tried to start something up before all this started. Were a coalition of people, but Blair Johnson with what is it? We started at the Underground. There's a lot of things I go through, but
he had the Breaking the Glass program.
Yes, that's what it was.
And also
Virginia also had that too, but that was on a different field.
Right. Along with the information regarding last week, we've got one of our fellow activists in the green room right now. We've got
hello. Make sure you grab some of those air chips. No.
Right. We got C.D. Dotson Chambers in the green room. And yes, C.D., if you're there, take whatever you need. You can go right to the fridge and just get whatever you want out of there. We got it like that. But what we want to do, let's bring her in and have her talk about what did she hear last week. So here we have C.D. Dotson Chambers, who is a local activist on the ground, getting it in, and she was there also last week. C.D., what was it that you took from that meeting last week? First, how you doing? All right.
Yeah, let her introduce
I know. I want to get right to it. All right. So sorry about that. Thanks for checking me on camera. Thanks for checking me on. He didn't wait to the break where he can say, now you know you're doing too much. All right, but it's all good. All right. So, CD, first, how you doing, sis?
I'm doing good, and you?
All right, man. Your video is awesome. Your audio is awesome. So she must get that 5G. We must be working with 3 over here. So I'm glad somebody got it some good internet. Um, what was it that you took from that meeting last week regarding the 180 million with the M?
Yeah.
All right.
90 billion of which is here that's supposed to be promised to people.
Right.
Never mind.
I will, and this is just my opinion. The county seemed as if they want to include other, people from the community to get ideas of what to do with the money. Do I believe that they're going to actually take the ideas that come from the community and use it? In my opinion, I mean, was the community even notified about the meeting that they were having about? So I think when they looked out and saw all the people from the community, I think it was kind of like a, oh boy, now they know, aha moment for them. So I think that now that they know that a lot of eyes are watching, I hope that the community, like it was a lot of people from the movement, I hope that those same people and some other people continue to show up to these meetings so that they know that we are serious. If the turnout hadn't have been like it had have been, would they have been so forward with inviting our ideas? Probably not. Would we have even known about it, being that this money particularly is not just for the African American community, but it is geared towards us? Would we have even known about it? Probably not. But I'm going to continue to try and make every single meeting. I showed up a little late because I had to work, but I'm going to try to make every single meeting, and I'm going to try and participate and make sure that they know, even if it's only 2 people in this room that from the community, I'm going to let everybody know what's going on.
Right, and one of the reasons why we wanted you to be on today is that man, you tell it straight. All right, no chaser, no filter. You have a distinct way of just telling the truth based on what you see and calling it like it is. I think I used as many adjectives as I could, but we love it, and that's what we need to hear today. Regardless if you like it or not, it's the truth. And it's highly unlikely if we weren't there, it would have been business as usual.
Exactly.
All right. We've been through this thing before, and we want to hold them to it. The election season is coming up.
Right around the
All
corner.
right. It's right around the corner, and we're not going to just allow anyone to come into our churches, our civic groups, and give us that same lie about fixing the streets, making the neighborhood safe,
Hiring more officers.
and hiring more officers. Look, you're gonna have to come with something else this time to get our votes. They're just not gonna be for free anymore.
We want parks, agriculture, something that can actually benefit the city instead of just constant construction.
Right. Somebody made a comment on Facebook the other day about the money. They're like, here are in the inner city, we have pools that's open, but they charging. We in the middle, still kind of in the middle of a pandemic. People are not working. Everybody don't have funds. Give our kids something that they can do. Put the money towards these pools. Let these kids go and swim and have different things in the community. I mean, they can't go make it out to the rec center at the Lucas County Rec Center. Something that's right here in our community for our kids to do. Make it free.
Right, and they have the capacity. If Buckeye Cable could be forgiven $1 million to move their lines from this spot to this spot,
just a little oopsie,
they can be forgiven $1 million. All right, and you're telling me we can't do it here?
Right.
If they can repave Dorr Street from Byrne to Reynolds, just so that everybody can come to the Solheim Cup and have a smooth ride. So don't tell me, all right? Don't tell me. And here's another one. They can build an entrance and exit on Dorr Street so that all of their well-heeled to drive through the hood. They can get off the Dorr Street on I-475 and bypass our community. They can put all of that stuff together, yet we can't get any justice in our community. Well, if that's the case, our votes aren't going to be for free.
Right.
All right? They're going to have to do something different. They're going to have to do something different. Lastly, CD, and we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with Julian Mack. We're going to talk about the potential, some of the potential candidates, and how they shake out with him, which may not be well. All right, but we're going to hear from Julian. I wanted to ask you this question. We've seen a lot of shootings. We've seen some stabbings. We've seen quite a bit of violence being reported in our community. What's your take on it as an activist, as a mom, and as a professional?
I feel like we got to hit the ground running. I mean, so many people are afraid. It's not, I've heard a lot. I had a lady tell me last week, she didn't want to hear anything else about Black Lives Matter because we're not out there fighting for the community. And I'm like, I'm talking to kids every day, but it's gonna take a whole lot more than one person. It's gonna take the whole community. We can't be scared. We have to take our communities back. And so at the end of the day, it's going to have to come from us. If you know that your kid is out there, then we got to hold you accountable as a parent. We got to hold the parents accountable. I mean, but we got to hold the court system accountable. When I worked at juvenile court for 9 years as a detention officer, it was a recycling door. The same kids was coming in, the same kids was going out. It was a repeating cycle. Some of the parents was begging the courts for help, and they did not get the help. The court, our juvenile system, smack them on the wrist, send them home. They will fight their parents. They call them right back within an hour to come and pick them up. So what we need for our juvenile justice center here in Toledo, we need for our judges to step up. We might need to get rid of the people that are there if they're not going to start holding our kids accountable and helping the parents when they need help. But at the end of the day, it's going to come from us. It's going to have to come from us.
Before we break, Jody and I just had a conversation about responsibility and accountability on our part. All right. Most times I'm pointing my fingers out, but there's some things that we can do. And also there are some things that those who we trust and put in charge of making decisions, there's some things that they can step up to. So, yep, I'm with you, hitting the ground running, holding us accountable, holding the institution of juvenile justice accountable if they want our vote. Mm-hmm. And they act like they want our vote, and it's going to be up to us to press them to do something for it.
To ask them more questions past, are you a Democrat or Republican? Or about this COVID stuff, ask them serious questions. Like, what is your agenda? How do you plan on fixing things versus telling me again about the roads or about how bad or how I can beautify your community if you just put me in office? But with what?
Mm-hmm. And then when we vote for them, we got to hold them accountable. They're going to keep on telling us this is what I'm going to do. Oh, I'm going to do this. And then when they get in office, they don't do it. We need to be showing up at their doorsteps. When are you going to do what you promised? Ain't no more empty votes. You're not going to keep us these lines and making these promises, and then you get the position, and then you forgot everything you said. Ain't no more amnesia.
Yep.
Right.
And I was going to say that. They hold fundraisers all the time and stuff. Show up to some of them. Catch them off guard while they're trying to make sure they can pay for their next election. Ask some questions there. If you pay a ticket, it's probably going to cost you a lot less than when they get in office anyway.
Yep.
And if event disruption is the way to go, then it's the way to go.
Go get a phone call.
Right. That's okay. Look, it's all good. I'll buy a ticket to your function just to disrupt it. All right.
Yeah.
We'll buy 10. All right. And disrupt it because you haven't kept your word. And I think that more and more we're moving toward that time that we're going to have to make them very uncomfortable about taking our votes and not doing anything. And that's going to also tax some of our friendships that we have with our local politicians.
Yeah.
If you're willing to sacrifice some of the fake friendships that we have to get justice for our people, then so be it. If you're not, we're not worried about you because you're not showing up anyway.
Yep.
I'll just ask you to buy a ticket and I'll give it to somebody else so that we can disrupt their fundraising gala.
And I want to paraphrase something that I heard from one of the council members. I'm sure you heard it too. After it was announced who was on the board to kind of come up with the agreement for everything, because literally, again, they had, from what I heard, until Friday to dispute or figure out anything that was going on themselves. And one of the council people that was on the task force said, please don't come to me trying to get favors. I'm doing as much as I can, which is an honesty you don't really get from them at all.
Right.
Because the truth is, this is a lot, lobbyists and all this type of stuff. I said trying to have a conversation with a friend of mine outside of sitting in that chair, and then I was blocked by somebody just talking about nothing but stuff you could watch on the news. I saw a straight smile. I'm just like, you know what? I'll call him. Shut up.
All right. Hey, look, we're going to take a short break. Thank you, CD, for joining us. When we come back, we're going to be coming back with Julian. We're going to be talking about politics, a potential forum, and what's his take on this crop of candidates that we have. Man, it's not getting any better. So stay tuned. This is the CSRN.
Thank you for that comment, Roanna Annie McNally. I probably messed up your name again, but that's true.
Yeah. You think? All right. But thank you for joining us. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, a weekly podcast. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
It just makes us look real as he's sitting down just like that, right on time.
Waka waka.
Okay, right on time. This is Community Solidarity Response Network. We had no idea that we were eating here. That was supposed to be for the green room. Now he's bringing green room treats.
You gonna make everybody jealous? We just gave him airbag chips and stuff.
Right, and he got a real apple. All right.
You know, I got to give a special shout out to Jonathan Majors. And what he did is King the Conqueror at the end of Loki.
Okay.
Yeah, that is black excellence, because what we saw is, this is my tip of the hat to him. He was eating an apple. But we saw a black man play a god.
Okay.
And I don't think I've ever seen that cinematically. You know, so bam, black excellence. Shout out to you, Jonathan.
Okay, I need to write that part in.
All righty.
We're doing black excellence now. All right, great. Hey, look, we got Julian Mack here. Before we get started, we're going to talk about the field of politicians, all right, that we have for council and mayor. Mm-hmm. There may be some other seats that we we haven't mentioned. And what's your take on this? And could you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
And then, hey, what's your take on this?
Well, hi, my name is Julian Mack, preferred gender pronouns, he, him. I'm here today because I believe we should be active participants in our own survival. I'm wearing a Malcolm X hat with 2 buttons, one that says 419 and ode to the zip code, and another that says the criminal justice system is criminal, with a Black Power fist necklace and a Nipsey Hussle shirt because the marathon does indeed continue. I'm just gonna pop up, start off with the mayoral race.
Let's get it.
We have about 24 different city council candidates. I don't know if time will permit me to get into the intricacies of that this evening, but we have 3 major candidates for mayor. Jan Scotland, who's representing the Republican Party, is a Black man. Cardi Finkbeiner, 3 or 4-time mayor of Toledo. He has a political career stretching over 4 decades. If he is elected this time, this would be a political career spanning over 5 decades, which is, I believe, unprecedented.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's happened
That takes
before in
the cake on
Toledo
everybody.
history. Yeah, I don't think that's happened in Toledo history. And the incumbent, Mayor Wade Capsicavage. So just to get straight into it, I'm concerned. I'm very concerned and bothered by the political positions that these 3 candidates have taken. Let's call it what it is, right? The Jan Scotland and the Republican Party have done all they can do to kiss the tail of police, right? There's people in that party that have directly assaulted police officers. They use the cover of the Republican Party to as an excuse, when they try to do things like overthrow the Capitol.
Okay.
Right? The party that has committed the most abuse towards police officers in the past year is the Republican Party. Right?
I'll take that.
Yeah, I not here to pull any punches. Yet they continue to have language and politically position themselves to do anything that police officers want, meaning give them more power to run rampant through our communities. All right.
You're not my police unless you're policing me.
So, I've seen just a few clips of Jan Scotland, but everything I've seen is in line with the traditional Republican Party talking points of wanting to really not reform police. We have the current mayor, right, which is very gray. I'll put it that way. Gray. It's hard to really tell where Wade stands, because one thing he has not done is confidently, and be decisive with any type of decisions in regards to policing, right? And the moment that we've been in calls for decisive, progressive, at the very least, reform, if not in a complete overhaul. That hasn't happened, right? We've had we've talked about this over and over again, low-hanging fruit, moving the Department of Internal Affairs from the safety building over to one government center, but nothing structurally has changed. Right. There's no civilian review board. They're not funding it. All right, where's that conversation? We got $150 million. Where's the conversation about funding the civilian review board so it can act independently and hold police accountable? Let's remember, less than 72 hours ago, police officers, TPD killed another man, right? Literally about 500 yards from where we're at
Yeah,
right now.
Reveal the secret location.
Okay, well, you know, Monroe and Detroit. You know,
That's right.
you
That's
know
right.
what
You're right.
we've been calling affectionately Black Lives Matter Avenue for years now.
That's
So while this wasn't a black man, I believe that we can live in a world where police don't kill people, and that in general, right, whenever this happens, it's a tragedy, right? Because we as a society have failed somewhere along the way, right? Whether it be mental health or whatever, you know, we've failed and we can do better. So so we don't really we know where Wade stands, right? Not taking any strong stance,
and being neutral. All right, you know, there was this quote that it says that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in great times of crisis maintain their neutrality. It's time to act. And if there was a rape in progress and I'm neutral, I'm a part of it. You know, when we say when Black lives are under attack, what do?
stand up, fight back.
We never say, well, just wait and be neutral. And if Mayor Wade has been neutral regarding the protection and defending Black bodies, if Mayor Wade has been neutral on what we want regarding Black Lives Matter and the Black community as a whole, if you've been neutral, but when it comes to, I'm going to mention the Solheim Cup, when it comes to the Solheim Cup, when it comes to Buckeye Cable and his relationship with the Toledo Blade, those aren't neutral.
From my field.
No.
Well, right. There was a definite stand being taken regarding Dorr Street in front of Inverness. There was a definitive stand being taken regarding Summit Street and regarding the Block family.
Yep.
And forgiving $1 million and giving them $1 million of our money
To begin with.
So he hasn't been neutral, only on issues that concern us. And this is going to be a different type of election this year.
I'm going to paraphrase the words of Desmond Tutu. If you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor.
Right.
If an elephant has its foot on the tail of a mouse, and you say that you are neutral, and the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality.
Right. Right. And that's what time it is. Okay.
And well, we have to get to the press conference of former mayor and last minute candidate Tardy Finkbeiner, right? Who put 10-point plan addressing community violence. And I'll just be straight up.
Come on.
I had a conversation with Cardi earlier today, and I told him that there was a part of that plan that I do not agree with. Some of the things I do agree with, but some of it I don't. Directly said that he wants to use ATF, State Highway Patrol, and TPD to team up in what is categorized as high crime areas, which is just another word of saying the black community. And I don't think that we need a 90s approach to 2020 problems, right? We know that the effect of over policing has on our communities. What happens when those parents go to jail? Right. We aren't thinking about that, and we aren't thinking that these issues holistically and all the way through. And so to sum up the mayor's race, simply put, it's a 3-person race where it looks like all of them are trying to see who can outdo one another when it comes to
Us.
No, loving the police.
Loving the police. That's
Right.
I was looking for the right word for it. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Who loves the blue line the most?
Which I just find to be completely disrespectful to all of the work and the thousands of people that took to the streets last year, right? If don't stand with those protesters for a photo op and then run away policy-wise when it comes time to make systemic change.
Spend money, spend it on fire department, 911 call centers, which are vastly understaffed.
Yeah, so I mean that's my 2 cents on the mayor's race, and you know we're gonna have to make sure our position is heard, because I'm not sure if we have candidates that are championing our political position and where we stand.
Well, yesterday we got Brother Omar Gent calling regarding the prison industrial complex, and he's calling us from the prison in Colorado. We want to get him on ASAP. So within our discussion last night, we talked about a forum.
Yeah,
we talked about a forum, and we talked about, will it be mayoral? Will it be city council? And what were some of the thoughts that you think we're leaning on right now?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a forum.
Yeah.
You know, and it's gonna be lit because we're gonna ask the questions that everybody else is scared to ask.
All right, as we always do.
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna do a quick transition.
Go ahead, brother.
We've got Brother Omar Gent calling all of the way from Colorado. He is a confined citizen in the Colorado Injustice Institution. Brother Omar, how you feeling, bro?
Real good, brother.
All right.
On this platform.
Hey, listen. Once again, we want to thank you for being with us. Before you even start, I want to see if we can put your website. See if we can put your website on the screen for everyone, because it's really important that not only they hear you, but they also see the website also. having some technical difficulty. All right. If I can get a sound check, let's see if we got some sound. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now.
Leave that sound when you come back to this.
Okay, great. All right. So all right, great. All right. So it looks like I wasn't able to share. I hope you don't mind this. Once again, we have with us our brother Omar Jit, calling all the way from Colorado. He is a confined citizen and also an activist and freedom fighter. Brother Omar, I hope you're doing well, and sorry about the inconvenience. Our tech team, we may have to fire our tech team. All right, man.
Make them start paying us.
All right. Well, I think we'd be better off just firing them. But hey, listen. For you, brother Omar, one of the questions that we processed earlier is, why is knowing the truth now so critical in the times that we live in? We had Julian Mack on earlier talking about our current crop of candidates for mayor and city council, and some of the things that they're saying to get elected aren't satisfactory to him, not satisfactory to me, and definitely not satisfactory to Jody. No one's telling the truth. And for you, Brother Omar, why is it so important and so critical that we know the truth and search for truth now?
That's a very powerful, complex question, my brother. I try to sum it up as quickly as I can. I heard the brother say when I first called in that he was saying, I called the last end of the comment, he was saying not being afraid to ask the questions that other people are afraid to ask. And first and foremost, you have to know the truth and being able to, in order to be able to ask the right questions, because when you're dealing with forces that's rooted maybe in absolute lies or fraud or this self-interest, how can you hold people accountable if you don't know first and foremost the truth of what you believe in, what you're standing on, because the truth, gets rid of falsehood, beats the brains of the falsehood. So it's very important for me to bring to your attention something that happened in here. I'll make it summarize it as quickly as possible. Situation happened on the yard between various races. It was a one-on-one situation, a violent altercation, and grouping started happening. That's when groups of people started getting together, and it could have spilled into a big racial thing. So what happened was, the people that run this prison, they got nervous. They shut down the yard and made us all come in. Now a high-ranking officer, he comes into each pod because we're separated in living units, maybe 100 something people in each unit, and there's 3 of them put together. He comes in each unit, and he's yelling on top of his lungs, and his basic words were, to summarize him, look, I don't care if you go in the cell and handle the issue one-on-one, but the minute that it starts to boil over into other people, when you're talking about groups of people grouping up, then, it's a problem for me. And it's instantly when he said that, it dawned on me and reaffirmed what I already knew. Like, as long as you're fighting each other, as long as you're, not looking at the real problem, then they're happy, they're content. I know that truth, and only a few of us brothers caught it. So he's basically telling you as somebody who's supposed to be pushing rehabilitation upon you, and basically helping you to reform yourself. But he's telling you to go in the cell, beat each other up. Why? Because that keeps his job, secure. They get more funds for violent events. That keeps him in place. And at the end of the day, you're not attacking one of his officers, and it's not a big old racial situation where not only it can be a lot of serious injuries and death that his file paperwork for, also correctional officers can get hurt. So, in knowing that truth, I was able to think about it and say, well, let me redirect my mind even more to bring the truth about the system out. How they want to divide us, how they want to keep us distracted. Because he's basically like, go on the cell, fight each other, beat up on each other. But the real issue is we should all be coming together to realize what's happening, which freeourbrothers.com explains.
All right. Before we get off this call, I've got Julian here with us. He functions as our spokesperson, so nobody receives more hate than him. And I'm glad about that. Somebody has to get all of the smoke, all right? And it's him. He had a question for you.
Yeah, so earlier this, Ohio is expecting a visit from President Biden later this week. And, when I was thinking about criminal justice reform and prisons, one of the things that he has committed to doing is ending at least federal private prisons. What do you think the president needs to know about the incarcerated population and what he may be missing in regards to being treated with dignity?
First and foremost, that's a very good question, and I appreciate it. It's put me on the spot, but God will give me the answer in this moment. I believe in him. He will. It's very powerful. What he needs to know about the absolute power of these prosecutors that do anything to win, because of his crime bill that Mr. President Joe Biden helped to enact. They got a lot of money and resources, and I remember reading somewhere they said I think 5 prisons a day were built during that period in the early 90s when they got all that money under that crime bill. And more attention needs to be focused on what these individual prosecutors are doing because they have so much power in each of these states. My website is one example. I think every state has a different issue, but you have all these prosecutors who, like I was explaining to somebody, please don't get me wrong, anybody that's fighting for visibility, what's going on out in the streets, like Elijah McCain locally got murdered out here by Royal police officers. That's one side of the genocidal coin, the violence against people. But the other side of the same coin is imprisonment, the violence against marginalized people. And we don't have the cameras, we don't have the hashtags, we don't have nobody to help bring this forward. When you have prosecutors, just railroading people to prison, and so that's what needs to be brought to his attention in a clear, organized, powerful fashion.
Now, one thing I think goes completely underreported, at least out here, is the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic and the healthcare system for our incarcerated brothers and sisters. What's something that we should know in regards to the healthcare, mental and physical, that our incarcerated population is receiving, or the lack of care that people are not receiving?
You have 60 seconds remaining. In the 60 seconds, I would say prisons are so secretive that the people just need to reach out to people behind the bars and figure out what they need as far as making calls and, bringing issues forward as far as the health care in all aspects. That's what needs to be done.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you and we love you. Shields up.
Thank you.
I love you, Shields up. Thank you all.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
You have 30 seconds remaining. All right, that's my way.
Well, Islam. Hey, that was our brother Omar Gent. And if our brother can call from Colorado, from behind prison bars and in the belly of the beast, and inspire us to keep going and inspire others to keep going, then I really don't have an excuse not to stand up in the days and times that we're living in. Julian, before we take a break, this question is for you and Jody, because we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with loose ends. All right, tie up some of our loose ends. Man, with the violence that we see now, how does that impact regarding trauma on the minds of our young people, their parents and families? How would you go about addressing that?
Ooh, so hurt people, and I think that there is a toxic trope of bad. This is a bad person. That needs to just end, right? People aren't. This isn't behavior isn't necessarily a black and white issue. There are people who have good and bad days, and we are better than who we were on our worst day. I believe in rehabilitation. I believe in second chances. I believe in leading with love. And I believe that when we fail to treat our social ills with love, we perpetuate harm that comes back around to hurt us even more. I'm going to go on a quick little tangent, if I can have about 3 or 4 minutes. There's a thread that I want to share that I came across on Twitter that has to do with, there's this whole trope about crime is rising, and that we need, because crime is rising, we need more cops. And this is propaganda. Okay, and I'm gonna just underline a few points and break this down. The first thing we need to consider is, what is crime? Crime is determined by people in power who have money. Crime and harm are not synonymous with each other, right? For example, we know smoking, for example, right? I'm a former smoker. We know smoking kills thousands of people a year, right? That's harmful, but it's not criminal. Now, if it's killing hundreds of thousands of people a year, harm and crime are not the same thing. There's big business in that harm. That's why there are protections for those people that make those products. Okay, crime and harm are not the same thing. Something can be very harmful to our community, yet be allowed to exist because the right people are making money off of it. Wow. All right. Second, police control and manipulate crime statistics for political reasons. All right. And mind you, the crimes that police commit are not even included in quote unquote violent crime. All right. Now we talk about these shootings and people can debate all day on whether shooting is justified or not. Right. I know one thing's for sure. If I go out and shoot somebody today, I am 99.9% sure I'll go to jail for that, and it will not be excused and not be justified. Right. Police officers do commit violent acts, and these are not included in the statistics, right, where they make these maps to point out where violent crime is, which is one of the issues that I had with Cardi Finkbinder's 10-point plan. See, these statistics on where violent crime is are cherry-picked. They ignore the harm that police cause. That's not included in the statistics. That's 2. All right, 3. Police and prosecutors ignore most crime. They only look for some kinds of crime committed, some people in some places. So, police are actually not that great at preventing crime. Only 4% of the time a police time is spent on what they call violent crime. And overwhelming evidence shows that policing increases future crime. Okay, when those parents go to jail, who's watching those kids? When those parents go to jail, who's watching those kids? Hurt people hurt people. Heal people heal people. All right, so we have to, and this has real tangible effects. We heard Brother Omar talk about the Joe Biden crime bill. Right. I am a product of that Joe Biden crime bill. I am a product of the ramping up on the war on drugs in the 90s And many people in my generation who are hurt are directly impacted by those policies.
That's right.
And when we aren't looking at people in a whole person, and we're looking at things like what they did on their worst day, we're creating more harm than we're solving. So that's just a tip of the iceberg. Okay. We can also, get into, like theft, for example. Low wage workers, like, we think about police solving robberies and things like that. Wage theft steals $50 billion a year from low wage workers. $50 billion a year. Mm-hmm. The police don't go after them. Right? When we talk about drug pushers, are we talking about the pharmaceutical companies, or are we talking about, the man on the corner, this trying to really, in the words of Christopher Wallace, make enough money to feed his daughter? Right? The real pushers are the CEOs at the top of these pharmaceutical industries that create. Those are the people that are pushing your doctors to prescribe these opioids. These are the people that are pushing medication on kids that in a lot of ways mimics cocaine and other uppers, right? I won't, okay. But we have to be honest. Those are the pushers. Those are the people who we need to be going after. Not people trying to escape poverty. And when we create a society where people are housed, where people have enough, where there's food to eat, where one can go to the doctor and get proper medical care for the mind and the body, then these crimes of desperation, then there isn't the need. Okay. There isn't the need. You take care of people's basic needs, then people don't have to create these crimes that stem from the desperate condition of poverty. Right? And okay. So when we talk about these systemic issues, we have to look at the harm that the system is causing. And somehow these mayoral candidates and far too many city council candidates are missing the point. They thought that this was just about George Floyd when it's about so many others. And they're missing the point of how this violence is being perpetuated repeatedly over in our communities. It's because we are not dealing with the problems at the root, and we aren't healing our people. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. We're gonna do one of two things in this life. We're gonna build or destroy. So we have to build better, safer communities and empower our communities. I'm done. Hey, the marathon continues.
All right. And I think that we have our opening statement for our next political forum. We'll use that right there. That'll definitely set it off. Hey, listen, we're going to come back with tying up some loose ends, and I think we'll be ready for 5 minutes of heat.
Well, I'll give my thoughts on that statement, too.
Okay. All right. So stay tuned. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network, our weekly podcast. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. But I guess we're here.
Psych. Hey.
All right, hey, look.
All right.
We're back. That was quick.
Quick.
Look, this is the Community Solidarity Response Network. I thought we were going to get into some Hunter Prey. We thought we loaded him in. Let's see if he... No?
Jody
Okay.
had something to say.
Okay, well, I guess all of our video...
So last year was hard.
Turn the mic on.
A curveball nobody saw coming was something terrifying and heartbreaking seemingly every day coming out of left field. Isolation.
Okay, it's on.
Frustration. Loss.
Yeah, we're good.
A city in suspension. A ballpark made empty. and the roaring of cheers lived as only echoes on the wind. You know, someone once said, oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. For there was no joy in Mudville. Well, we come from and work from the mud. Took that dirt and sand, melted down and built the glass. Even if we lose everything, we know how to make something special out of nothing. That is the heart of this place, this city, this people, this team. There's a beauty in the contradiction. That is why we cheer when rounding the diamond. That is why we cheer when waved home. After a year of silence, we are being waved home. That is the sound of joy after the storm fades. The lightning in the pitch, the thunder crack in the bat. The joy in Hinsville is back. Welcome home to me.
Am I even on? All right. Hey, listen, we're back. Community Solidarity Response Network. It looked like the tech guys were smiling on us for fixing something that we didn't even know what was happening. So I just say we meant to do that. So, Jody, did you have anything to comment on? Julian just talked about how systematic racism and the institution of white supremacy just permeates our community in the decisions that the lawmakers make. What was your response?
So again, yeah, I'll go comment on that. I'm responding to people as quickly as possible. Today has been a Super Bowl Sunday, you know, where we got lag and editing and all that stuff, but you're still sticking in there with us. So thank you, Patty. Thank you, everybody that's still on, CD, and everybody else that's joined us since the top of the show and everything like that. Yeah, as when we started today's episode, and the same subject I feel is then, I am a product of the war on drugs. I survived the war on drugs. I don't want a war on guns. It's stupid, just as stupid as the war on drugs was. It didn't, like me and you discussed, it didn't do nothing, but every time we have a prohibition against stuff, you create more ways to make it dangerous, more ways to subjugate certain people in certain areas, when in reality, I mean, if you go, I study a lot of history. If you go back far enough, all the projects that we live in were built for factory workers. They moved them out after the Industrial Revolution happened and everything. They went to the suburbs. We're having an exodus of the reverse.
Oh, wow.
That now they can't live in the suburbs because guess what? I have to grow my own food. I have to figure this out, which we were adept at doing since they ripped us from our land. And most people, they trampled on the land that is stolen from them to begin with. So all of the arguments about the funny joke of, you know, America seems like it's cursed. You would think it was built on Indian burial ground. Is still a continuing cycle where we create a problem, then we create some solution to fix it, yet the solution hurts us more than the problem. Like you can take nose medication because I got allergies, but now I got kidney disease. A lot of that is nobody really wants to solve any problems. They found the perfect scapegoat to just generate money and get away before anybody. Like, we have a difference in criminal systems. If you steal millions of dollars from retirees or people who that was it, you go to a nice little white collar prison with a computer, you can still run your business, you can still own your companies. If you murder somebody, you can still collect your pension when your term is up. But for us, it's a no. For us, you live in the bad part of the neighborhood. You live in this place that we got all these cameras and all this radar and data and stuff. So yeah, this is the area I'm going to target. Just like with this $180 million, it's specifically targeted at the urban communities because you just left it in squalor for so long. You've left it there so you have a problem that future generations can fix.
All right.
Let's just say something about that 180 million real quick. Like that's our money.
Yeah.
That's our money. You know what I mean? We put Joe Biden there, and Joe Biden would not be there without black people. Joe Biden would have won without black people. And you know, he said he's gonna not forget us. I think this is part of Wade didn't get that money.
Right.
Wade didn't get that money. The county commissioners didn't get that money. The governor didn't get that money. That money came from the federal government, right? And that is a direct result. Elections have consequences, and that is there is a direct lineage from us, from Joe Biden, not us. I ain't win nothing, but from Joe Biden winning the last election to that money being placed in our city budgets, right, as relief. And you know, we have to have the self-determination. It's important that our elected officials understand that we want the self-determination to be able to decide where that money goes and how we can best use that to empower ourselves and our communities. Period.
All right.
So, as my, I guess, closing thoughts and notes on stuff that's going on, we haven't really got to do it a moment. Julian already did the Black Excellence, but we have plenty of Black Excellence and community organizations within our own city that you can reach out to. Again, we have Mystery Music on today. You can talk to the City Park League. You have Jermaine Rayford with the program. Brothers United, I still see their information and stuff going on. You have other outlets that you can do. Right now, there's movies. And shout out to Tracy Haynes and Moan, DJ Moan. I can't remember the rest of your name, but they're doing the premiere screening. They partnered up with everybody else instead of saying, hey, we're just going to put our screens in the park. No, they reached out to people. They did the necessary actions to make it going. Shout out to Devon Fagan. Hoodstock Foundation. We got that going in a couple of weeks. There are plenty of outlets to do other stuff if you want to do it. A lot of people ask me, how do I find all these shows and political events or pop up? Because that's where my energy is. I don't have energy to put nowhere else. So we will see you at the Food Truck Festival this Sunday, and that's the sponsorship of a whole bunch of organizations. I'm not going to name them all, but I'll be there. There'll be vendors there. There'll be arts and crafts there. We have the Adams Street Block Party on the 31st. We're going to be dunking some of your political candidates. I believe I got a confirmation on a couple other people. I'll be bringing the volunteers. You'll be seeing that going on your page soon. There's some more events. Shout out to Danetta Carter and the Social Butterfly. You can follow her, find out all the stuff she's got going on. The Art Loop and the Arts Commission has their summer program going on. So make sure you give your kids other outlets than watching all this stuff that terrifies adults. I mean, this is not fun work, but we make it through because we, again, survive through stuff we don't want to see them go through. I'll be throwing up more events on our page. Because again, community is our first word. So for the people it's like, you need to protest this, you need to organize about this. I don't have to. Right now, I think we are at a stage where if you need us to show up, we can. But there's nothing going on in the world that is that dramatic we can't find a way to fix. Stop looking for problems, find solutions, and be happy. Just be happy. I mean, everything's not perfect. I could be having the best day of my life. 5 feet away from me, somebody's entire family could have got wiped out.
That's true.
But I know that that's just a moment. So stop living these social media moments where you have to quote everybody who ain't gonna come back later on to save you. They're just not. They like your views, they like your likes, their income, and then they will move on. So stop following these celebrities that, again, they're celebrities. Their idea is to make you watch them. So if you're watching them for advice, you're failing because they are good at putting on acts. One of them, in a sense. So I'm just trying to warn people.
That's right.
As the world comes out of its box and figures out all these things and mechanisms that we were dealing with to cope with, You gotta hug a person, shake their hand, talk to them, mask or no mask. You're never gonna find a solution staring at a screen. Maybe in a book, but we try to burn them and get rid of them too. So
All right, and before we get to 5 minutes of heat, shout out to Patrice Perry and the Gateway Youth Development Program. Go ahead, go to Patrice Perry's page, find out about her program. I remember her talking about her program when she didn't have any youth, just an idea on a sheet of paper. Shout out to E Community Garden, everybody that shows up on Boston Place every Sunday, 4 p.m. And a shout out to Rob Pasker. Did you know he was the third vice president of the Ohio Realtors Association? So shout out to that brother for making it happen. And lastly, not a shout out to Twitter. If you don't know, if you follow the Nation of Islam on Twitter, you might see our page has been suspended.
what?
Telling the truth has consequences. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was banned from Facebook and I think Instagram. Telling the truth does have consequences. So we're going to build up our own platform that's called NFA Studios. Go to that. Never Fall Again. And it's their loss. So not a shout out to Twitter, but it is what it is. And hey, look.
Hey, but you can follow CSRN Toledo on Twitter for some fire tweets.
Right, and Instagram.
And Instagram,
All right.
that's right. And
Spotify, YouTube.
yes, on Spotify and
You need to get
YouTube
them
as
little
well.
blocky
Those
things that you
graphics,
can put on the
right.
screen.
What is Ruth doing? Right. Not
so-
making those graphics. That's
Where you
what.
could just in the little thing, subscribe comes down.
Okay, all right. Okay, you lumped in with it for that one. But okay.
World's a weird place.
So I don't want to let the cat out the bag yet, but I would highly recommend tuning into CNN this Thursday at 10 p.m.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right.
And again, remember the
Don
world
Lemon Show.
is bigger than you. Germany is underwater. Mexico is underwater. There are massive landslides and floods going all over the place. So if somebody doesn't quite understand your need for justice, let them be. Because I bet you didn't know Germany was underwater.
All right. So as we close out with something called 5 minutes of heat. And for the past 7 years, Jody has held that down. All right. And I think that he has a collection of spoken words.
Jody?
Right. That he's reading from. And also, did we talk about inviting some of those?
Just like, see, I'll be trying to have surprises.
Oh,
Watch
okay.
it, tell it all.
All right. Okay. All right. My fault.
So, again, as you noticed at the end of our shows, we've been doing shout outs. Last week, we challenged everybody to donate to the Hoodstock Foundation. We challenged people to donate to the George Floyd mural. Shout out to Gutter Dave. Bricks will go back up.
Yes.
He went, a couple of them too. But so right now, I am challenging you to support the arts. Over the pandemic, me and several other artists came together just to inspire the world to give our perspective of what was going on. And it got put together in a collection of poems by the wonderfully talented and amazing Joni McKentry. The book is called Black Lives. She hand makes these herself, so you're not going to be finding these in the library and stuff.
Oh, wow.
But for every book that is made, all proceeds that might go by. They are $20 per book. All proceeds go to us here at Community Solidarity Response Network. The people involved in putting this book together are Sandra Gill, me, of course, Jerry J. Summers Child System, Tanasio Loudmiller, Automatic, Natalie Gray, Hunter Prey. See, that kind of rhymes. I see what she did right there. Melvin Douglas Johnson and Travell Ellison. I think I said your name right this time. I believe so. So my idea, and we kind of all came together under this beautiful individual. Her name was Paula Blocker, and we knew her as Stormy. She used to host open mics at the Trump. So we all came together under that premise, putting this book together. So today, what I'm going to be reading is one of two last tributes. The second one you'll find in my next series of books that will release that are dedicated to her. That I'll be reading. And then every 5 minutes of heat, and this is my challenge to everybody I just named. Check us out, message us, because I'm going to be reading from these books. This is the next set of 5 minutes of heat. Now, I would not prefer to do your piece in my voice. So if you would like, contact Brother Washington or any of us, and we can have you on the podcast for the last 5 minutes of heat. I will start reading these next week. So if you want to find out more, contact Joni McKintrey. Her website is just that, www.JONIEMCINTIRE.net. And you can have yourself one of these pieces of history.
That's dope.
So today's piece, again, is a tribute to Stormy. One of the last word prompts she left me before her passing on to the next life. And I know it has a title, but where it is my phone right now, I can't see the title. So we're just going to go from begin piece. The image for this was a shattered mirror with somebody kind of creeping through the broken shades of glass. Let's begin piece. Looking in the mirror, I noticed a small imperfection. It was a crack that slowly got larger as I stared deep into the perception of myself. I started to see an image of a face I once knew, riddled with tears and dark memories of people who tried to shatter me. The image began to contort and twist, causing me to look away as if I feared what might be staring back at me. Before I could turn to run away, I heard a whisper out the corner of the room. You are stronger than the image you see before you. I searched the room for another person, but there was no one there. Only the image staring back at me, who was not smiling. I went to the shattered mirror and found out it was just a frame. In peace.
And as we never clap, we snap our fingers. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Stormy. Thank you for all of the poets that put that piece together. Yeah. And hopefully, Jody, we will be able to have someone either come in live.
Yeah, I'm gonna start messaging them when I get home. Like, hey, because Sandra, I think we each have 2 poems in this book called Black Lives. And the first person is Sandra Gill. I'll be messaging you tonight to see if you're available to read your piece. If not, I will do it in my best cadence of reading voice.
Does she stay in Toledo?
Yep.
Okay, we might.
She's actually funny story about how I met her. So I won, I think it was like the 2016 or 2017 Lord's Martin Luther King Poetry Slam. And the next year I met her and she came back and took first place. I took second, but small little tidbit of knowledge and connecting it to Lord's College, who was one of our sponsors for the Black Lives Matter Awards.
The virtual edition.
The virtual edition.
All right. Hey, maybe we pull up and say, what's your name again?
Sandra Gill.
All right, Sandra, maybe we just pull up.
I'll be reading your bios too as I read your stuff because there's bios in the back of the book. So it's going to be interesting, something new.
All right, at this point, we end with the Solidarity Pledge. I've been reading it for the last few days. It starts out with your name and then repeat after me. I, your name,
Julian,
pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
To love my brothers and my sisters and non-gender conforming individuals.
As I love myself.
As I love myself.
I, your name.
Jay Summers.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To study.
To study.
To improve myself.
To improve myself.
Spiritually.
Spiritually.
Mentally.
Mentally.
Morally.
Morally.
And physically.
And physically.
For the benefit of myself.
For the benefit of myself.
My family.
My family.
And my people.
And my people.
I. Your name.
Child of the system.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To be a part of the solution.
To be a part of the solution.
The process.
The process.
And not the problem.
And not the problem.
I. Your name.
Spoken truth.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To give all that I can spare.
To give all that I can spare.
Of my time.
Of my time.
My strength.
My strength.
And energy.
And energy.
To achieve.
To achieve.
The above said.
The above said.
Now give yourselves a hand. And as we complete our solidarity pledge and our podcast and video cast for today, as always, all lives can't matter until Black Lives
Matter.
And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice for all. Peace.